Customer Media Private Limited, Dr. Choube sir, Director General Scope, and other dignitaries on the dais, and delegates from different organizations. Good morning to all of you. Really very happy to be in this gathering today, particularly the session on the PSU, the backbone of Indian economy. We have heard about the importance of the PSU, particularly from Dr. Choube, the role of public sector undertakings and its growth plan and its contribution to the Indian economy. So I would like to pass quickly on the overall scenario of the CPSUs and also on NLC. PSU. As informed by Mr. Choube about the pre-independence era, where there were a lot of regional imbalances were there in economic development, lack of trained manpower, low levels of employment, weak industrial base, etc. And in 1948, the planned economic development started, and then the first industrial policy was adopted by Government of India in 1948. The planned economic development policies, which India roadmap was and then the period of the growth for the large base and scope of PSUs. Initially, the public sector was confined only core industries like railways, post and telegraph, ordnance factories, etc. with only 5 CPSCs at that time, with only an investment of 29 crores. Then second phase started with banks and industries, and also manufacturing, steel, heavy machinery, etc., mining, extraction minerals, railways, etc. As per the DT survey, you see, in 1950s there were only 5 numbers of CPSC, 29 crores. Subsequently, 277, it has increased the CPSCs with the investment of rupees 8 lakh crores investment, and this has increased the investments and capital employed in all the CPSCs. You can see more than 50 lakh of those crores, and total investment in CPSCs is 8.5 lakh crores, and their net profit by all CPSCs is 1,02,300 crores, and total income from all CPSCs, the growth of the CPSCs, and almost ranging from 20 to 24% GDP growth. Of course, all you have heard about this, about the foreign exchange contribution, and CPSC is the source of central exchequer of rupees 1,42 crores of rupees with the exchequer, mainly by payment of dividends to investment CPSCs and also payment of taxes, etc. from the select source. 20% of PSC's market capitalization, and CPSCs employed are 1.4 million people, of which 25% belong to the managerial and supervisory cadre, and paid a remuneration of rupees 1,50,000 crores, and wages about 8.29 lakhs per person. And Jio introduced Navaratna scheme in 1997, and all of you know about Navaratna, and also the objective of Navaratna also. And now, so far we are having now Navaratna to 7 CPSCs, Navaratna to 17 CPSCs, Niratna category 1 CPSC 3, and category 2 to 18 CPSCs. And this is about evaluation of performances as told by Mr. Choube about the MOA understanding what they are having with the government of the administrative ministry, and they are being monitored through MOEs, the performance. To overcome challenges in the industry, CSR is required. CSR leads to good governance by balancing the need of various stakeholders and party and industrial relations. As the importance of CSR, the Companies Act 2013 made compulsory now comply or explain. It's a new thing, but the importance of CSR was realized, much practiced, and by CPSCs for the last few decades. In 1994, DB issued guidelines on social obligations of PSU. 2010, again CSR guidelines were issued to CPSCs, ranging from 0.5 to 5% of the net profit, depending on the profitability of the company. Companies earning net profit of 100 crores, 55%, 100 crores to 500 crores, 2-3%, and above 500 crores, 0.5 to 2%. So in 2013, these are guidelines were integrated with sustainable development guidelines. So MOE with the ministries, ESG includes CSR are the main parameters. Thus, Indian PSUs started practicing CSR for decades, where the CSR was very compulsory one for Indian corporates. With regard to NLC, we would like to give a few light on this. NLC, if you see, we are having the different activities what we are carrying out in NLC. You can see the Mine 1 initially started in 1956. Then also the TPS 1, that's 600 megawatt. Then TPS expansion, 420 megawatt. And Mine 2 towards the downside, it is also a 50 million ton mine. And then linked to the TPS 2, 4070 megawatt. TPS expansion, 500 megawatt, which is going to be commissioned very shortly. And Mine 1 is 3 million ton mine. And Basing Sir, in Rajasthan, we are also having our setup, a mine and also a power plant of 2 megawatt. These companies incorporated in 1956. Mainly we are lithium mining and power generation. It's a Navratna company. Presently 30 points in capacity, 2,740 megawatt power generating, and paid up capital is 1,677 crores. Net worth is 13,000 plus crores, and market capitalization is around 18,000 crores. And profit after tax, what we had last year, is 1,501.88 crores. They already paid 10% dividend, and also they are going to further 18% or 28% dividend. They are paying to the government around 4420 crores. As on date, we have 16,506 employees, executives 4,300, and now is about 12,300. We have 4 subsidiaries: NLC, Tamil Nadu Power Limited, NDPL. NLC having 89% share, and Tanjapco 11%, and Naval Uttar Power Limited, where we have NLC 15% and DPR 14%. And joint venture MNS Limited, MCL 70%, NL 16%, Hindalco, where we won a coal block here in MCL area. MOE rating for last 3 years, we are excellent, 11 for excellent, 12, 13 excellent rating, and 13, 14 not excellent provisional rating. We have awarded 2 coal blocks by Government of India, Pachwara South, having 1980 for a 98 megawatt Ghatampur power plant in UP, and Tilga Barpali block in Chhattisgarh, having reserves of 300 reserves. So by the end of 12th plan, we are having a program to go up to 6 million tons. Will go up to 6.6 million tons lignite capacity, and lignite-based power 3240. We are also entering into coal-based power 1000 megawatt, wind power 15 megawatt, and 20 megawatt of the solar power. And CSR, we are doing for last so many decades. Otherwise, it's not possible to acquire land, particularly in the mining area. We require every year about 2 acres of land. Unless CSR is implemented, we cannot acquire lands, and that's how we used to have under the PDS scheme and R&R schemes, Peripheral Development Scheme, and also R&R Benefit Scheme. Under this scheme, we are implementing the special activities, and now under CSR, we are going to implement further. And we have spent last year 1.8% of PAT against the norm of minimum of 0.5%. Performance in 3 years, if you see, we have for last 3 years we are on the growth path, and last year we have achieved the highest generation of 19,900 million units against target of 18,900 million units, the highest without any capacity existing, only efficiently performed in this output generation. The linear production also the highest last year compared to all the 3 years, and we are on the growth path, and we have achieved 26.9 lakh tons. Earnings rupees crores, so many our total income has gone up to 6,900 crores last year, whereas our sales is 569.23 crores, and our net worth also is on the rising path. If you can see, from 11,000 plus crores, it has gone to 13,000 plus crores now. Almost 42 crores has come last year. Profit also, PBDIT is also increasing from 2,485 to 2,980 crores. Profit PBIT again is also increasing from 1983 to 2,299 crores. And profit after tax, it is 1,411 crores in 2011-12, now it is 1,511 crores. Of course, the profit is not growing at the rate because of the high expenditure on the employee remuneration, wages, etc. There is also eating into these profits. And payment tax sector, what we are paying the government under different heads, particularly dividend on equity, etc. Totally we are paying on central excise, service tax, custom duty, corporate tax, dividend tax. All this comes to central government. We are paying 1,060 crores per annum. To state government we are paying totally we are paying about 1,040 crores both together for the state and central government. This is what almost more than the profit we are paying towards the taxes to the government. This is only a shareholder pattern. We are now 90% within the Treasury of India and the balance 10% is only outside. Or outside also again 3.6% was purchased by Tamil Nadu state government itself, and other things are there, business companies, etc. So in the public, around 1.3% is all in the public. If you compare performance and benchmarks for output per manship, you will see for the last 3 years we are growing compared to coal mines. It is average is 12.18 in the last 13-14, whereas NLC's open cast mines, OMS is 12.64. If we compare the plant load factor of thermal power generations, all India generation, if you see, the last year is 65.55. Central sector thermal, 76.11. Lignite based power plant stations, 7.63. And NLC's is coming to 80.19% of PLF. So we are also working, the PLF is much above the average of the Indian power plants, though its lignite is a very tough deposit, tough mining, and it is a low calorific fuel and high moisture produced. But even then, we are able to perform efficiently with this higher PLF. If you see lignite in the country, the share of lignite market share is around 16.12%, only NLC one company in the entire country. Lignite based power also we are holding 60% of our share in lignite based power generation. And power tariffs, if you see, we are also coming very least compared to other like NTPC and Tamil Nadu, what purchase they are getting the power. And NLC is only giving at 2.72 in 11-12 and 2.78 rupees in 12-13 and 2.98 in 13-14. Some of the least power charges we are getting in spite of the lignite mining being costly. The lignite stripping ratio is 1:7 to 1:11 it goes, but in spite of the tougher conditions, we are able to maintain this. And these are all the presently ongoing projects which are going to be commissioned very shortly. TSP expansion, going to 500 megawatt, likely to be commissioned. And coal-based at Tuticorin. This is a coal-based where I told you we are entered coal base also. With a coal-based power plant, going to 500. So will be commissioned shortly within 2-3 months. And Naiveli Thermal Power Station, this is a 500 megawatt. It is going to be commissioned in 2019. All the orders have been placed on BHEL and SR. It is going to commission. The future projects were about our Barsingsar, Rajasthan. We are going to have 2 more power plants there. That is Barsingsar, the thermal power station, and also Bidinok thermal station, where we have another load of 500 megawatt there in that areas. Then coal-based Ghatampur is going to come up. They are going to expand the project at a cost about 14,300 crores. Here we got a coal block, but we are held up because of the forest clearance. It has become a mandatory for the power plant to have a linked coal block clearance. So Pachwara coal block allotted, but we held up for this thing. What is going on there by dealing by CMPDL? And to acquire the coal abroad, to meet our requirements of the coal, we are already importing some coal, and MSTC is our partner, where we are we have placed order recently for about importing the coal for LTPL requirement. Apart from that, we are also trying to acquire the coal assets abroad, wherein we have gone for a global expression of interest, and we have received some offers, and 3 countries, Mozambique, Indonesia and Australia, are in the pipeline now. We are doing the technical and financial diligence, etc. NSCS awards, so many awards we got. Mostly that is the award from the directors. Main award we got is from the Mentors Award on the Environmental Excellence from the President of India. They received at Vignan Bhavan. And Best Overall Performance Award 13 by the Council of Power Utilities. And also we have got a National Conservation Energy Award for its Mind 2013 by Ministry of Power from again from President of India. All this is getting awards. CS also we got an award. Issues in setting up a mine, mainly land acquisition, the rehabilitation and resettlement of the displaced persons. This is a problem that is going to be faced. We have to face this problem because apart from competition, there is a demand for a permanent employment by the land givers. That makes it more difficult. And also, resources are already concentrated. Though in the country we have more than 42 billion tons of reserves, only 15% reserves are mineable with open cast mining method. Balance 80% are very much in depth, about 200 to 500 meter depth. So with existing technology of open cast mining, it's not possible. So we are trying to find out other methods. So deep seated lignite limitation of technology, and apart from that, there is a groundwater pressure is there. There are a lot of pumping and delays in obtaining environmental clearances. These are the issues which are going to face. And coming to IT sector, we know that we are also entering into the IT sector. We are also going to have a ERP system. Already we have entered into 2 phases, HR and finance. Other areas also are going to be entered. And we are also having e-auctions. We are also having online intent system. That is right from the intent to the placement of order. We will be having the totally this online. Right from intent to the placement of order, as called as OLIMS, online integrated management system, middleman system. That has been implemented in our NLC long back. Apart from that, even the HR, online we are doing the recruitment, publication call for, application submission, everything is through online. Only interview dates will be finalized based on the qualification, etc., what is mentioned in the advertisements. And e-auction of lignite, we are having small quantity of shares of lignite also. That is being done through MSTC, and now they are also going to supply as coal to our 2 different power plant. And we also got the bill watch system, wherein suppliers can watch their bills, what is the status of the bills, how much they have been paid, everything through online they can see. This also is being done in our NLC. So they got to IT assessment, something about the magazine here. I thought there are things I should tell, though it's not covered in this presentation. And then somebody I would say coal continues to be a major fuel source of power generation, and capital demand supply continues to widen. All of you know about this. And needs effort of government, power producers, coal miners, and service providers to ensure modern and sufficient infrastructure for coal production and the coal demand. Single window clearances should be implemented for both coal and power projects. Support land acquisition and all other issues. To ensure timely and smooth completion. Particularly to promote research and exploration activities on the new technology like coal-bed methane and underground coal gasification. We are already in pipeline with the regarding UCG. We are having a lot of reserves in Ramnad area of Tamil Nadu, where there is a possibility of underground coal gasification. Recently, we went for a global tender and global expression of interest, and from US and from Russia and IIT Chennai jointly they participated. They are in the pipeline. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me.